Okay, hey y'all, this is MassiveEffectMarketing.com. We're going to talk about ads. So I've got an ad right here, I've got some copy, and let me show you, what you shouldn't do. So this right here is for a landscaping company. Let's say you were selling vitamins. So what you wouldn't do is fresh, right, headline, fresh vitamins. And then you have the copy. Our vitamins are amazing and all organic, vegan. Use this coupon for 20% off. And the call to action, buy now. And then the image, vitamin bottle, or a happy person. Smile. So this would be a terrible ad. It wouldn't get you very much on Facebook. All right. And this is what a lot of ads look like from people who don't know how to do ads. All right. It's a very predictable headline, very predictable copy, predictable photo. So this is what ends up making people believe that ads don't work, because someone will, you can even do courses on udemy.com, and this is what people teach you how to do. Yeah, just make a little headline, throw some words in there, get a picture, get an image that grabs attention, and yeah, you got your ad. So that is a recipe for disaster. You don't want to do that. The ads have to be very, very well thought out, very crafted. So this is what causes people to have failures in ads. Now what I've got down here, so this was for vitamins. So over here is for landscaping. All right, we'll just differentiate that for you. Vitamins. Now for landscaping, I only have the copy. So I don't have a headline. I don't have the attention grabbing image. I just have the copy, all right? When you're doing a Facebook ad, those are the 4 elements. So today's video, we're just going to talk about the copy. And this is my copy. Pretty simple. And this is how it starts in. And this is by no means the ultimate ad. It's just a decent ad. And why is it decent? Let's take a peek. So we've got, is your landscape black and white when it should be in color? So why would I, where am I getting this idea from, right? Am I just inventing this? So the strength of your ad depends on the research you've done before that point. So in the case of someone who wants to spruce up, their landscape, that was an unintended pun. But if you want to spruce up your landscape, what are some reasons behind why someone might want to do that? Like emotionally, they open their door and it's just a bunch of dirt, or they've got patches of dirt, or there's just a couple patches of grass. It looks very plain, it looks boring, it's all brown, or it's all green and there's no color. So you just got to put yourself in the shoes of the prospect, right? You got to put yourself in the shoes of the homeowner who doesn't have a nice landscape. And how could you communicate that? Well, one way is like, well, your landscape is in black and white when it should be in color. Okay. That in itself kind of communicates the disappointment, right? So we want to talk about the problem, the discomfort, the disappointment. Some people call it the pain point, whatever it is, but we want to talk about that and grab their attention with it. All right, so that's what my first line is. I'm talking about the problem. All right, and then I'm kind of reinforcing it. I'm hitting it again. So without beautiful flowers and lush plants and trees, a home's landscape just looks dead. So I'm just kind of making really sure that they get my first line, because some people might not get this. It might be a little bit too creative. You know what I mean? You don't want to be so creative that people don't get it. Like, what do you mean your landscape's in black and white? I don't get it, right? So that's one thing you got to be careful about, using puns and phrases and stuff like that, and um, other devices. So I'm just reinforcing the fact that, okay, without, these nice colors and greens and so on, your landscape looks dead. And I put the zombie. So we're just really reinforcing the problem here, all right? Dead landscape. Now, there's a whole bunch of different ways this could be communicated, right? There's different discomforts or disappointments from the person in regards to landscape. This is just one of them, right? It could be, the fact that he feels embarrassed when his neighbors look at his landscape. That's a completely separate discomfort / problem that we would word differently. But I'm just picking this one where it's disappointing. It looks like a wasteland, So that's the discomfort that we're going to pick. So now I want to continue on talking about the problem, but kind of get a little bit into the emotion of it. Kind of get into that. No one wishes for their dream property to look like a cemetery or a wasteland. This could be worded a little better, but you get the idea. Like, no one gets up in the morning and wishes that no one dreams, no one, blah, 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 dream home should look like a cemetery or a wasteland. That's the concept with this. And so that's kind of an emotional statement, you know what I mean? It's like, you're working your whole life, you've got your home, and you've put a lot of money into it, you've been dreaming about your whole life, only to find out that it's the backyard is garbage and you don't like it, or you never had the time to do it, so you got your home, but you just didn't get it to where you really wanted it, right? You've given up on your dreams, so to speak. You've settled, and it's disappointing. So that's the whole purpose of this line, is just to get into that emotion of, this is something you've been working towards. It's your dream property. So why should it be a wasteland in your backyard, right? So, and then we're going to get into a little bit of logic about it. So we've got some emotion here. We've got some logic. So when you want your property to inspire and give you life, not be devoid of it, right? This could be expanded upon a little more to make more sense, but you kind of get the logic of it. Like, you want your backyard to be your little paradise and not be the opposite of that. So it's kind of a logical statement. So that's that. And then we get into the company name. So we're going to then introduce the company. All right. So blah, blah landscaping can help you with that. We've been turning homes landscapes into grandscapes in Indiana for over 20 years. So this is just introducing, right? Because you now need to talk about the company. We have some cleverness in here, which is cute. Whether or not it is effective, we'll have to find out. But you want to try and keep it somewhat social. If you're on the socials, this is a Facebook ad, so you want to keep it within the vibe of Facebook. Notice I have an emoji on every line. That might be too much. I've got 2 on some lines, but that's just how I'm going with it. You don't necessarily need this many emojis, but it helps really to make the text a lot more readable. If this had no emojis, people won't be as inclined to read it on Facebook. It just makes it easier to read. It also helps enhance and reinforce some of the messages with the little graphics. So then we're introducing the company. We've got a little bit of social proof with 20 years. We've got a bit of cleverness, talking about the transition, right? We're going to help you go from, a wasteland to a paradise, right? Just rewording the same things and with different words. And then we've got a little announcement. Our garden center is open. So that's what we want them to do, is to come check out the garden center. So we're introducing ourselves. We're telling them what we want with our message, and then we're saying we want them to come by, take a visit, check out the garden, feel the therapeutic effect of all of our annuals, perennials, and all the shrubbery and the goodies. Then we got a call to action with a phone number down here. So it's pretty darn simple, as you can see. There's not a whole lot of parts. We talk about The problem up here, we talk about what, the emotion of the problem and the logic, right? How illogical it is, how emotional it is. Introduce the company, tell them what the solution is over here. That could be a little more clear, but I think it's clear enough. And then we've got the solution, what we want them to do, and then a call to action. So that's pretty darn simple. So that is the copy for a Facebook ad. It still needs a headline. It still needs an attention grabbing image, and then it needs the call to action, which would be send a message or something like that, or call us now. For the image for something like this, the best thing to use would be some video, a little video clip, 30-second video clip. It could be the garden center itself. You can get really creative, honestly, when it comes to the imagery, but we'll save that for a different video. This is just the copy. You're only going to see this much, right? They'll have to click see more to see the rest of it. So the top really has to get attention. This could get a little more attention, but I think it's decent. As I said, this is a decent ad. It's not like award-winning, but it gives you the idea of all the sections that you need to have and have things thought out. It can't be something like this where you're just saying, hey, we've got good stuff. Here's a coupon, buy now. And then a stock photo, which everyone's going to ignore. You got to put some more thought into it. And this stuff becomes easier to write when you have all your market research done. What are the, as I said earlier, what does the prospect want to get out of it? What's their current issue? What's the transition like? The whole before and after, et cetera, et cetera. So it becomes a lot easier to write if you get that research done. So that is about it. And the last thing I want to mention on this whole thing with the ads, it's a very easy area to get confused because everyone is teaching, their own different flavor. But one thing to know is this is an ad that you would show to someone most likely who already knows you. So realize when you create ads, you need to consider who it's being shown to. If it's someone who doesn't know you at all, you're going to have the ad worded a little differently. If it's someone who does know you, they've been to your website or they've bought from you before, you can speak to them in a very different way. So the effectiveness of the ad, you have to consider who you're sending it to, and you need to write for that person. And this thing, what we're doing is we're trying to get people to come to the garden center so they can spend a few $100s or, $1,000 or more on plants and flowers and stuff. If I've never heard of you before, that might be a tall ask. So that's why I say this is the kind of thing you would send to people who don't know you yet. I mean, this is the kind of thing you'd send to people who do know you because you're selling something, pretty expensive. It's always best for people who do not know you yet to make your ad a piece of content. So a useful video with tips and info, or an article or something like that. That should be your ad to people who don't know you. They're cold. It's a cold audience. You don't go in for the kill and ask for a sale on a cold audience, right? So this whole ad is asking for a sale. Do you get that? It's not giving any information. It's not giving any value. It's saying buy my stuff. So you should say buy my stuff to people who have already seen a bunch of your content, been to your website, or your customer. For people who haven't engaged with you yet, you've got to build that trust, build that rapport, and you make your ads actual content, so videos with tips or articles. That way you can warm them up, they get to know you, then eventually you send them a new ad, go in for the kill and go in for the ask. All right, so this is a pitch ad. We're asking them to take an action, all right, to make a move towards a sale. Whereas the other ones would be educational based ads. It's like Goodwill, you're just giving them free content. So keep that in mind. You have different ads for different audiences of people. All right, so that's about it. This is us, MassiveEffectMarketing.com. If you want some help, come on down. If you need some help with your ads, we can help you with that as well. If you have a website and it is a steaming pile of this, of chocolate pudding, we can make it even better. So come on down, Massive Effect Marketing. You can put your website in the comments, and then we can do a little video and we can show you what's good and bad. And if you have some ads, you can show us your ads and we can take a look as well. All right. So until then, thank you very much and take care.